Hi everyone and welcome to Social Media for Business Part 2. So this is part of your business administration course at the end of week 3. So if you're watching this too early, please stop the video now. You need to do part 1 first. Okay, so your aims and objectives for today's session are to state why a business uses social media and the advantages that social media can have for a business. You need to state why social media is good for engagement, and you need to state the boundaries of social media and why we need to be cautious when we're using it. Okay, so as I said before, some of you will be much more familiar with social media than others, just like yesterday, okay? So some of you will use lots of social media and some of you may not use any social media at all. And again, just like yesterday, I said businesses are very similar, but it may be up to you to update social media, okay? We are looking today at how to monitor it and how to update it more efficiently as well, should you be doing that. So a bit of a recap from yesterday's session. So yesterday you looked at the different types of social media channels that are available. Whereas today you're going to be having to develop that knowledge into the benefits and advantages that social media can have in a business. If you do need to refamiliarize yourself with what the different channels do, then you can have a reread of yesterday's lesson or watch the video from yesterday as well. During today's session, again, you can do further independent research if you do wish to know more. So because we are working at level 1, it is a bit of sort of a overview rather than knowing absolutely everything. Some of you may really enjoy this topic though, and you may wish to do more with it in the future. So what are the main reasons why businesses use social media? So social media is a key part of advertising and marketing for any business. So many businesses are advertising on the internet through social media. They're using Facebook, they're using Instagram, Twitter, some are even using Snapchat. The reason businesses are using social media is because they are able to reach hundreds, thousands, perhaps even millions of customers who live worldwide. So it makes it a really quite an easy opportunity to grow a business if you do it right. Businesses use social media because it is stress-free. Again, if you do it right, it can be stress-free because you can get software to help you. It can be cost-effective. Again, it can be cost-effective because you can get software to do it for you, because you're not having to pay for lots and lots of printing of glossy flyers and things, and it's just amazing to use it for a marketing tool. Social media allows businesses to engage the target audience directly by interacting with them on social media. So they're able to find their target audience or their customer who they wish to promote their products to. So like we looked at yesterday, you can use those adverts to say who you would like your target audience to be. So social media can base the advert that you've paid for on the data that people have given them. So if you are 35, you live in Manchester and you're a female, perhaps you are a suitable customer for a particular product. By using social media, companies can generate more traffic, more customers, more clicks to their company websites. So if you have a Facebook profile or a Twitter or account or a Instagram profile, you can have your website linked to any of those, and that will allow customers to then go have a look at your website. So identify why a business uses social media. So I've given you lots of ideas there. Because we are identifying, you can be sort of quite brief if you wish to, but I would like to see a couple of sentences here. Tell me why businesses use social media. So working towards question 2, we're now looking at an online community. But what is an online community? So an online community or a web community is a virtual community. So think about your community where you live. You could have like the name of your estate as, you know, part of your community network, where you might have, you know, a butcher's, a baker's, a library around the corner, and that's in your local community. Online, it's slightly different. Because it's a virtual community, you're able to connect with people over a subject that you share interests with. So you're connecting with a group of people over the internet about something that you have a shared interest with. Now, an example of that could be your local community group. So you tend to get these no matter where you live. On Facebook, there are groups for people who live in Trafford. There are groups for people who live in Levenshulme. There are groups for people who live in Burnage. You know, it's everywhere. So the online community. So when people are communicating in their online community, they're not only communicating together, but they're sharing knowledge. Okay, so it could be that you are communicating on your local community Facebook group, and it could be that there is a car crash up the road and someone's posted it on the Facebook group to say there's a car crash, just avoid it, it's going to be a while to be cleared up. It doesn't have to be something as dramatic as that. It could be that somebody is giving away a piece of equipment from the garden, like a children's slide their children have grown out of, and they can share that to say, does anybody want it before I take it to the charity shop or the tip? So they're not only communicating together, but they're sharing their knowledge, and they can work together on their interests. Now, it's not just your local community group that you have to think about. It could be that you are into a particular subject, like I've put on here at the bottom there, Scrabble. You could be a real big fan of Scrabble, and you could be on a Scrabble fan group page. So you're in a shared community, in a private Facebook group for people who like to play Scrabble. Another example of a shared community is Net Mums. So that's a forum where new mums can chat to each other about what works for their babies. Don't limit yourself to just those few examples that I've given. There are so many different virtual community groups out there. Online community is everywhere. Your question really is about the advantages of building it. So what I wanted to do was give you a bit of an overview of what an online community is. So the advantages of building an online community, it increases the customer loyalty and retention because they should be buying from you again. So if you've got a small business with a group on there where people are discussing your product or service, they should be quite loyal to you because they're going to remember you because they're talking about your company, your product, your service. It should also increase the website traffic to your website because it will be linked on there. The reviews that you get on your online community will be real. They're going to come from real customers. So you're going to get real customer reviews that you can then put onto your company website and use as part of your marketing material. Quite often you see that called a testimonial. Customers can talk to each other about your products or service, and if customers are talking to each other about your product or service, they may be able to help each other out with questions they have about it, which means that you may end up having to do less work because the people in your online community are able to answer each other's questions and queries. In a way, you can sort of think about it in terms of how we've got our classroom set up on Microsoft Teams. Because you've got a web chat where you can all discuss on there, essentially if I went off, you know, for my lunch or, you know, popped to the toilet or something, somebody else may be able to answer your question for you, which takes away a little section of my workload. So I want you to be able to explain the advantages of building an online community. So give at least 3 examples in your answer, so you can go back and have a look at that last slide again if you need to. Why do businesses need to be aware when they are mentioned on social media? So we've looked at so many positives regarding social media for business use. We've looked at how it can be a cost-effective way of marketing your business. We've looked at the fact that you are able to grow your following, get more traffic and more customers coming to your websites. But we just need to go back a little bit and just think, right, what are the possibilities? Why is our business being mentioned on social media? Is it a positive? So you need to monitor when your business is mentioned on social media. And the reason for that is because it gives the business a chance to see where and how their business is being discussed. So that's a positive, okay? Because you are able to see where your business is being discussed and how it's being discussed, perhaps it's somebody discussing how great your product is, and they're discussing it on Twitter and you don't normally use Twitter. So that's great because you're getting advertised for free. But don't forget, it could also be a negative. It could be that somebody is discussing your business on Twitter or your product on Twitter about how rubbish your product is and it broke after 3 days of use. So you need to be monitoring that. It gives an insight into what customer needs are and what the customer actually wants. So perhaps there's something missing about your product. Maybe someone's saying, oh, I like this product, but I had to make a bit of an adaptation because it wasn't working properly for me, but now I've put this extra hook on it so I can hang it on my wall, it works better for me. Maybe you can change your design slightly and upgrade it so it does have the hook on it. You need to monitor when your business is mentioned on social media because it is such a positive thing to engage with your good comments. So don't just engage with the people who are complaining. That's only going to encourage more complaints. The more you engage with good, positive comments and compliments about your products or services that you are advertising, then the more positivity that you should get. You could be getting mentioned on social media because a customer might need help with the product or service that they've bought from you. So if you are monitoring your social media, you'll be able to help them with the problem that they have. And the last one down there, sadly, is you will get complaints that need dealing with. So it's going to be important that you do monitor that social media regularly so that you are able to deal with that complaint so that nothing escalates any further. And that leads you on to your next question. So describe why a business should be aware when they are mentioned on social media. So because you are describing, I'm looking for a good paragraph there with sentences. Okay. Social media for engagement. So what does social media engagement mean? Now I've put this on here. Some of you may already know this, that's fine, you can move ahead. Some of you may be thinking engagements when you get married, okay? So if you're really not sure, stick with me and I'll go through it. So social media engagement, what does that mean? So social media engagement is the interaction between people across a range of social networks. So think of it as people not only who follow your product on Facebook or like it on Facebook or follow you on Instagram, but those people who actually interact with others about your product or service. So social media engagement, it measures the number of public shares, likes and comments for an online business's social media efforts. So the engagement is like the number of people who are interacting, whether that is through sharing, through liking or through commenting on your business online. So social media for engagement. So businesses that focus on building their social media engagement can benefit from market knowledge because they should know what their customers want. So because your customers are discussing your products online, you should know what the next thing is that they want. So perhaps it's that you have a makeup business and you're working for a brand that sells makeup and you're working in social media. Perhaps they want a new eyeliner that is more waterproof than the one that you have. Maybe that's the next thing that you need to be thinking about promoting. Social media engagement can help you to see customer satisfaction, so you can see customers' feedback. So if you've got 80% of negative feedback and only 20% of positive, then you know that you need to work on the satisfaction. So we looked at customer satisfaction on Tuesday, so you should have some awareness of needs, expectations, and how it links to satisfaction. So looking at the feedback, you need to focus on the number of positive and negative feedbacks, because you need that number to be higher on the positive side. Businesses that focus on building their social media engagement are able to actually reach more customers as well, because they've got a better marketing reach. So they're able to get to more customers because they know how they are engaging online. Because you've got more customers, you're going to get a higher return on your investment. Essentially what that means is more money in your business. You're also going to have a greater brand awareness, so more people will know about your business because it's discussed online, which makes it easier to attract new customers because you come across as a trustworthy brand. So the more people hear about your brand, the more likely they are to shop at your brand. So I'd like you to state the benefits of businesses using social media for engagement, and I want you to give at least 2 examples in your answer. So I've given you plenty there to work with, so do develop that into a statement. So I'm looking for a good sort of 2 to 3 sentences into a paragraph there. So I talked a little bit before about using monitoring tools to monitor social media engagement. So you're able to use something called a management tool where it can measure your likes, your comments and your shares on your social medias. Okay, it is a little bit like using a robot to do the job for you, but why not use technology rather than manpower, because it should be cheaper for you in the long run. So just remember that social media engagement is measured through the amount of likes, comments and shares across all of your social media channels. So that could be across your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, your Snapchat, your LinkedIn, all of those ones that we looked at yesterday. Now there are different tools you can use, and you only need an awareness of this, okay? I've got a little bit more information on the next slide, but don't worry too much if you're not understanding the full extent of it. We are at level 1 here. We're not expecting you to get a PhD in marketing, okay? If it is something that particularly interests you, I do encourage you to look further into it and do some extra research, and you can showcase that in your work. So some of these monitoring tools are Google Analytics, Hootsuite, Buffer, Sprout Social and Iconosquare. So what do these monitoring tools do? So these social media monitoring tools are a very clever piece of technology, and they have been developed to enable businesses to grow online. So just like I said before, you don't need to know everything about them. If you are quite interested, then like I said before, you can do extra research. But let's just have a look a little bit more about these. So what do these tools do? So Google Analytics. So Google Analytics is there to analyse in-depth details about customers who visit your business website. So Google Analytics is more there just for your company website rather than it is there for social media posting and things. So although it's smart, it's not as smart as some of the others. Hootsuite. So Hootsuite helps you to keep track and manage many of your social network channels. It enables you to monitor what people are saying about your brand and helps you to respond instantly. So previously, when I spoke to you before about those robots, chatbots, what you can do with Hootsuite is you can teach it different keywords and what phrases to reply with. The next one is Buffer. So Buffer is designed to manage your accounts in social networks by providing the means for the user to schedule posts to all social media accounts, as well as analyse their results and engage with their community. So again, this one is able to be used as like a sort of chatbot where it can reply for you, but also you can schedule your posts to your social media accounts. So there is quite a lot of research out there about the best time to post on Twitter, the best time to post on Facebook, the best time to post on Instagram, where you're going to get the most interaction. So you need to get your, like your money's worth out of these sponsored adverts that you're going to be paying for. So if you can use Buffer to schedule your posts to those times that you wish to post to your different social media accounts, then that seems like a great option for me. The next one is called Sprout Social. So Sprout Social has an easy to use smart inbox to help manage inbound messages, new followers and brand keywords. So this one is sort of a little bit more simple, okay? So this one is, like I said before, one of those chatbots where it can manage those inbound messages, so it can speak to people that are messaging you, maybe to say, we will get back to you within 24 hours or something. It can say hello and welcome to your new followers, things like that. The last one there is called Iconosquare, and this one is a tool that analyses the usage that will help you to see what's working and what's not working, so you can strengthen your Instagram strategy. So this one is mainly for Instagram. It's mainly used by influencers, so those people that make money by promoting products and services on their own grids that we spoke about yesterday. So it's about what's working and what's not working on your Instagram. In terms of when I've spoke about, a lot of these are analysing the results and engagement. What I mean by analysing is it is able to measure those likes, shares and comments, so you can see what posts are getting the most sort of interaction positively. So for question 5, I'd like you to identify 3 ways of monitoring social media engagement. So you can just pick 3 from the last slide. You can do some additional research should you wish to. You can use some of my words there to help you as well. Just try and reword it for me. Try and show your understanding. And if you're really not sure, just give me a private chat or a text and I'll help you out there. Okay, so what are the risks with using social media? So there are a lot of risks with social media. So we've got hackers, malicious software, disclosure of confidential information, a PR disaster, legal liability for posted content. So let's have a look at these in a little bit more detail. So disclosure of confidential information. So if you've got staff members or if you yourself are working for a business, you may disclose confidential information. Okay, it may be a malicious thing or it may be an accidental thing. So you may disclose a customer's personal information when you're dealing with a query or a complaint. It may be accidental. Like I said, it could also be malicious. But what you don't want is, it's really, really risky to have confidential information leaked all over your social medias. The next one there, PR disaster, I'm going to show you an example of that on the next slide. Legal liability for posted content. So the content that you've posted may mean that you have to refund customers or leave you in court with a big bill. It depends obviously what's been posted, but what you have written, it could lead you into like a danger zone in terms of legal liability. So on this slide here, I've got an example of a PR disaster. I actually remember this one. It was really, a huge uproar was caused by it. So you can see here you've got a lady who is African on the left hand side. We then have a t-shirt being taken off, a brown t-shirt taken off to reveal a white t-shirt, and then on the right we've got a lady who is perhaps British, Caucasian. Okay, so this is an example of a PR disaster that happened with Dove. Okay, so Dove, the like soap and deodorant brand. So what they were saying was, essentially, you are getting yourself clean, removing the brown to reveal the white. But of course that is racist, because it portrays the black lady as dirty. So there are many other examples of things like this, particularly with sexism against women, but this is just one example I wanted to show you here because it is just horrific. So you've really got to be careful as to what you are posting on social media and make sure that it is not going to be disastrous as this one was. So I'd like you to identify risks that are associated with social media for business use. If you can give me 3 there, that would be great. I want you to write that in a couple of sentences, so 2 to 3 there for me. Why must all businesses have a social media policy? So we looked at this previously in week 2, but I just want to strengthen your knowledge because it's what's going to keep you safe at work, especially if you're in charge of posting on social media for a business. So it's going to avoid a conflict of interest, it establishes the business's identity, ensures confidentiality, we've looked at that word so much, promotes honesty and respect, it helps with compliance, and it separates the company and your own sort of persona. So let's have a look at those in a little bit more detail. So why is it important that all businesses have a social media policy? So the first point there says avoids conflicts of interest. So it stops staff from being able to profit from using the business's social media for their own benefit. So when we talk about conflict of interest, it's so that you are not profiting from something that you're doing at work or stealing ideas at work from your workplace. So if you work for a company and then you directly mimic their business, if it's written up that you can't do that, then you might not be able to get away with it. The policy should establish the business's identity, so it ensures that all published information relates to the brand of the business. So it's not about, you Joe Blogs who went on a walk on a Sunday afternoon. It's going to be about the business's identity, not your own identity. The social media policy ensures that confidentiality of the business and customer information. So staff cannot leak that information, and if they do, they're going to be held accountable for it, because that's what the policy will probably say. A social media policy promotes honesty and respect in communications. So the tone, the wording, the manners that are used in social media are probably going to be specified in that policy. Again, these policies are going to differ from one to another, but generally that's what that will mean. The social media policy will help with compliance and other policies such as code of conduct, so staff will know what's expected of them when they're posting on social media and where their boundaries are. So sometimes you see some people posting for big companies, like maybe a gas and electric provider, and they might call themselves like Alex A. They might not tell you their full name, and that might be because it's in their social media policy not to. A social media policy separates company and personal messages, so it knows the staff. It makes sure the staff know that they must write on behalf of the business and not on behalf of themselves. So although you want your business to have a personality online, you need to make sure your business's personality is what you want it to be, not 10 different people's personalities. Okay, so I'd like you to explain why a business should have a social media policy. You need to give at least 3 reasons in your answer. So when you are explaining, don't forget that you need to write in sentences and give reasons with your answer, so such as using the word because. Okay, so that is the end of this video. So at the end of this unit, you should now be able to state why a business uses social media and the advantages that it can have. You should be able to state why social media is good for engagement and know what engagement means. and you should be able to state the boundaries of social media and why we need to be cautious when we are using it. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you do have any further questions on this unit, if it is brand new to you, please do get in touch with me. I'm here to help you. Okay? Thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up.